Hello! Today, I'm going to teach you how to float. If you're looking at improving your confidence in the water, in this short video, I'm going to share with you a few tips so that you can go from standing to floating and swimming on top of the water. Now, the very first thing, safety first, so make sure you're swimming in a pool with a lifeguard, you have supervision, and if you've never been in the pool before, make sure you start slow. Feel free to rewatch this video and share it with friends that you think will find it helpful. Now, the very first thing that you need to keep in mind is your confidence and comfort in the water. You can't really be agitated and tense when you're in the water. It's gonna be really, really difficult to float and swim on top of the water. So the very first thing is just to be comfortable. When you slide in the water, take your time. If the water's a little chilly, kind of move around, get your heart rate up a little bit, and then you wanna be really comfortable, you wanna be relaxed. Now the first thing you need to do is blow bubbles out of your nose. So this is very similar to humming. So if you can hum with me, go ahead and hum. Just go ahead and hum. Very good. So we're gonna do that in the water. So we're gonna start out really, really slow, and I'm actually gonna tilt the camera down so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So the first thing, humming. We're gonna start above the water, and then we're gonna go below. Here we go. As you can see, I could keep my eyes above the water. I was looking at you guys, and I just started humming. This is the very first step. You need to be comfortable blowing bubbles out of your nose, because when your face is in the water, you're not just holding your breath. That's a big misconception a lot of people have about swimming. You just hold your breath when you swim. The reality is you're always exhaling, and then when you lift your head up to breathe, whether you lift it up or to the side, that's when you inhale. But when your face is underwater, you're actually exhaling. And the more you practice, the more controlled that's gonna get. So let's try again. I'm gonna go ahead and hum, and I'm actually gonna go a little bit deeper this time. Woo. Water feels good. So as you can see, the more comfortable you get and the more you do this, the easier it's gonna be. So now we're gonna start with the actual float. So I'm gonna separate myself from the wall, and I'm gonna have my hands kind of like I'm frosting cake. So I'm frosting the top of a cake with frosting with my hands. Just gonna have a nice feel. And I'm gonna very gradually just lower my head into the water, and I'm gonna try and look at the bottom. You don't have to open your eyes. If you have goggles, it makes it a little bit easier, but you don't need anything. I'm just gonna blow these bubbles, and I'm gonna do it for 5 full seconds. Here we go, count it out for me. Woo. See that? It's not about holding your breath, it's about blowing bubbles out of your nose. And it can be out of your mouth, but out of your nose is best. I never left my feet off the ground, so I basically had full contact with the ground. Now the next step is, once I'm comfortable with that, I'm gonna lift one leg off of the ground. As you can see, I can stand here right now. It's just only about 1 meter tall, and I'm almost 2 meters tall. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my face in the water, and I'm gonna hum, and I'm gonna put one leg off the bottom. Here we go, for 5 seconds. So I got almost my entire head underneath the water, and I lifted one leg. Now I'm gonna get both feet off the water, and I'm gonna put most of my body, most of my head underneath the water. I'm gonna focus on looking down, getting my hips up off the ground. Here we go. 5 seconds, here we go. Woo! Making progress. As you can see, I started sinking a little bit, but that's because I wasn't moving and I was exhaling. So as the oxygen leaves my body, I'm gonna start sinking. And the way we can combat that when you start to swim is actually by making forward progress and starting to kick a little bit. So we're gonna combine the floating, and then we're gonna take it all the way to taking a first stroke on our stomach. Then we're gonna flip it onto our back, and I'm gonna show you how you can do this on your back. So the very first thing is I'm gonna be on the wall. I've got the wall right next to me. I'm gonna sink underwater. I'm gonna blow those bubbles. And then after I blow those bubbles, I'm gonna push off the wall very slowly. I'm gonna have my arms above my head, and I'm just gonna float. Again, I'm like frosting the icing on the cake, and that's gonna be my sculling, just to keep myself stable and balanced. I feel really comfortable in the water. I've been in the water for a couple of minutes now, and I'm ready to put my full head under, and I wanna be right on top of the surface, and I wanna just be floating with a little bit of a kick. My legs are straight. Here we go. So I'm gonna put it all together. I'm gonna start with my hum. Very good. And if I wanted to get my breath, I can just pull myself up. So I'm right here, and I don't want to feel like I'm sinking, so I can just push with my hands, and then I can stand up. It's really important that you stay in an area where you can stand the entire time.